Whenever I talk about autonomous trucks, people immediately jump all over me, tell me it's never, ever going to happen. It's never going to come to pass. It's a pipe dream. Don't even worry about it. But I'm here to tell you that autonomous trucks are coming, and when they get here, everything is going to change fast, and we need to talk about that. Hey everyone, I'm Jack Roberts. Welcome to another edition of Off Duty Driver, the professional truck driver's video channel for news, views, information, and fun. And 10 years ago, in stunned disbelief, I sat in a bleachers set up on Hoover Dam, and I watched the Freightliner Inspiration autonomous truck drive itself across Hoover Dam without any human being in control of the vehicle. And it was absolutely amazing. It was the dawn of what is the autonomous trucking age. And the technology was remarkably mature even 10 years ago. The next day on that same press trip, I sat behind the wheel of an Inspiration truck as it drove itself through heavy Las Vegas traffic on I-15 north of the city. And over the next decade, I've done similar drives countless times with other autonomous developers, OEMs, and startup companies alike. And I'm here to tell you, not once in all of those drives have I ever experienced even a hint of a malfunction or a safety issue, even in heavy traffic in Los Angeles and around San Francisco. Now, turning tractor trailers loose on North American highways without any human beings on board is a massive step. So despite all the early promises that we would see self-driving trucks within 5 years or so, they still haven't been released to the public. I think that's more a reflection on the developers know they've got to get this technology right. If there's just even a little screw up right off the bat, they're going to get just eviscerated by the press and the public. And so they're really taking their time on getting this technology perfect before they release it to the fleets. But sooner rather than later now, someone, probably Elon Musk, if his recent behavior is any indication, is going to take the plunge and release autonomous trucks to the public. And then what's going to happen? Well, my prediction is they're going to take off like free ice cream on a hot summer day. They're going to go fast. And my reasoning is pretty simple. I tell you guys all the time, I'm a history geek, and this is just hardcore Adam Smith capitalism at work. If the fleets can cut drivers completely out of the picture, drop all those wages, all the pay, the benefits, the retirement plans, the health care, the vacations, and everything else that goes along with having human drivers in the cab, yeah, no doubt, they're going to drop it all because it goes right to their bottom line. And oh yeah, no need for hours of service anymore. Forget just running a truck 10 hours a day, because an autonomous truck can run for hours on end, basically until its fuel runs low. And then after it refuels, it can run for nonstop for many, many, many more hours until the fuel tank runs low once again. Conservatively speaking, a fleet, I think, could easily double the hours of use per day of an autonomous truck compared to one with a human driver sleeping in the cab 10 hours a day. Hell, I figured that once fleets understand and get comfortable with the technology, 22, 23 hours a day of constant use might not be out of the question. And since computers don't get bored or tired or impatient or have to worry about how many miles they're getting under their belt so they get paid, the trucks can run all day long at 55 miles an hour, saving fuel, wear and tear on the drivetrain, and boosting public safety. Now, that said, I don't think that when autonomous trucks are released, I don't think the fleets are suddenly going to fire every driver and switch in en masse over to autonomous trucks. I think what is more likely will happen as older drivers retire, as older trucks are retired. I would not be surprised if we saw a continuously accelerating trend of human-driven trucks being replaced by more and more autonomous models. In fact, I wouldn't be at all surprised if, say, 20 years from now, well over 50% of all North American long-haul trucks were autonomous models operated without any human being on board. I wouldn't be surprised even if that number were as high as 75% 20, 25 years from now. And I'm not even factoring in urban delivery, regional haul autonomous trucks. No telling what those numbers will be in terms of a total truck population in North America. Now, before everybody panics and starts sending me hate mail, I do think there's always going to be a need for human truck drivers, particularly in specialty applications, hazardous loads, for example, heavy haul, wide loads, high value cargoes. And then if you're talking urban and regional haul, you're talking about cargoes that have to be manually unloaded at multiple stops during a day, things like that. And I do think those drivers in the future, that'll be a rare skill. Getting a CDL will be an increasingly rare skill. And I think in return for that, I think those human drivers will demand a premium wage for their skills, and there will be a high demand for them. But nonetheless, we could be living in the twilight age of the American trucker or the North American trucker right now. A lot of the driving jobs that we know today will likely disappear in the coming 10 to 25 years and be replaced by robots. Now, the argument is always that new technology creates new jobs for displaced workers, and there is some evidence that will be the case with autonomous trucks. Instead of driving a truck, a transportation manager might work a daily shift at a fleet headquarters in a mission control kind of room like we used to see at NASA when we were kids. This man or woman might oversee and manage a group of, say, 10 to 20 autonomous trucks as they work their way across the country, scheduling fuel stops, handling breakdowns, scheduling maintenance, making sure the truck is inspected and safe as it works its way along its route. There will be a need for human transportation specialists to service the trucks and get hands on them while the truck is en route. Autonomous trucks can do a lot of things, but they can't fuel themselves or inspect themselves after all. They can't perform maintenance on themselves. But if you start thinking about all the things that would change in the world as a result of a large number of autonomous trucks being in the population, I mean, everything comes into play. Would we need as much truck parking as we do now? Probably not. Think about truck stops without truck drivers. That's a lot of business that goes away from the travel centers, the restaurants. Would highway congestion get better or worse? I don't know. Honestly, I could make an argument for either one of those things happening. And then you start thinking about societal issues, our society at large. Robots don't pay taxes. They don't buy TV sets, washing machines, new cars, new homes. Will there really be enough new jobs created by autonomous trucks to offset the driver jobs that would vanish in this new world that's coming at us? And that's my point in this video today. When you really start thinking hard about autonomous trucks and all the changes they're going to bring to our society, it's really shocking. I mean, we're talking about massive change, massive societal shockwaves going out across the economy, our society. It just won't be limited to the trucking industry. It will impact virtually every aspect of our lives and our society around you. So what do you think? Am I overblowing this stuff? Do you think self-driving trucks just aren't going to happen, that we're always going to need human drivers? Or do you think I got a point? Do you think we need to be thinking about policies and regulations now to address these changes? Let me know in the comments below. Until next time, I'm Jack Roberts. I'm Executive Editor at Heavy Duty Trucking. You've been watching Heavy Duty Driver, and as always, hold them in the road out there.